Alrighty, so with the next eclipse coming up on the 26th of November 2023, I thought it would be pertinent to talk about different personalities to get on your new lunar eclipse, Lunera. Now, if you're not familiar, you have to hatch a Lunera egg on the eclipse, during the eclipse, which is only going to be one day. You cannot obtain the egg and hatch it on the next day. You have to hatch the egg. It has to go from egg to hatch stage during the eclipse, during the day of the eclipse. There's no other way for it to work. It has to be that specific way, which, if you're wondering, everything that has a different form is determined at the hatch stage. With the exception of some that don't have a different form until they're an adult or a hatchling, such as female angel dragon, the wings are determined at hatchling, and for apple cheeks, the color is determined when it evolves into the adult stage. But for Lunera, it is determined at the hatch stage when it becomes a hatch. And as such, it will need to hatch from egg to hatch during the eclipse. Which is why I recommend actually getting your eggs the day before, so that you can hatch them. I recommend getting the eggs, egg dragoning, cuddling them, so that they hatch during the eclipse, and then getting another set of eggs, and then cuddling those so that they can also hatch during the eclipse, and that way you get 2 sets of eggs. So I'm going to give some plans for personality suggestions for these dragons. These are going to be step-by-step guides to these personalities. These plans include backup personalities, the odds of getting the personalities, and the methods to avoid interfering personalities. That being said, I don't I don't have the odds written down in this slideshow or in this presentation. They're not written down in this video. You're not going to be able to visually see them, and so I'm not going to be able to give them to you. I will, however, record them later in Syndask's personality plan booklet, which I'm going to try and link in the description of this video if YouTube lets me. If not, you can just look it up. I did make a Wikipedia page discussion post. So you should be able to find that in the Dragon Village Collection wiki. And from there, you can actually make requests for personality plans. You can make your own personality plans and offer them as long as they follow the format that I present them in. You'll get credited at the bottom of the booklet. So if you want to go check that out, highly recommend doing so. I don't only present Lunera personalities, but all sorts of different personalities. And like I said, with backups. So here are my 2 stats suggestions. On the left, we have Quirky, which is going to be your common starting personality for Lunera. And on the right, we have Quiet, which is going to be the rare starting personality for Lunera. The Quirky set has 8 trainings, and the Quiet set has 9 trainings. These qualify the dragons for Perfectionist, Classy or Noble if they're a Gen 3 or a Gen 5, Arrogant if they have 200 views, and Meticulous. How these work is you could see the names of the base personality that you're going to be working with, and then you can see the final stats you'll end up with after doing the instructed trainings. So for Quirky, if you do 2 sets of +5 agility training, you will get 20. You will end up with 20 in your agility stat, and so on and so forth. You can also overlap these with a bunch of different personalities. 3 of the ones that I would recommend doing are going to be Wild, Fearful, and one of the 4 view-based personalities that exist currently. Any of them, but only one. The stats do work, again, for Arrogant, so you just have to worry about getting those views. So here are Perfectionist and Meticulous on the top, and then Classy and Noble on the bottom, just as examples. And I got these images from the Aura preview service in the Discord. These ones are provided by Dr. Morbid. So big thank you to them for providing me with all of the Lunera preview images for these personalities. So priority order isn't really something I've talked about. It's something that was recently somewhat recently data mined, and they discovered that all personalities have two different stats tied to them. The first is priority, and the second is chance of being successful. So the game goes through when deciding a personality and checks which personalities they qualify for in a certain order. The game will check if it qualifies, and then it will check if it gets the personality based on that percent chance of success. And if it fails it, then it will move on to the next personality that the dragon qualifies for. The game will, for example, start by checking if the dragon qualifies for silent. If it does, it will run the 50% chance of the dragon getting silent. If the 50% chance succeeds, then the dragon is silent. If the 50% chance fails, it will move on to noble. It will check if the dragon qualifies for noble, and then it will run if it does qualify for noble, it will check that 40% chance that it successfully gets noble, and so on and so forth. What this means is that if you want to get, for example, noble on your dragon, you do not want the dragon to qualify for silent, because it qualifying for silent will lower the overall odds of it getting noble. So in this case, silent is a 50-50, noble is a 40-60, so the overall chance of getting noble would be 20%. But this also means that, for example, if you want the lovely personality, arrogant is a safe backup and will not prevent you from getting lovely in any way, shape, or form. So you can still do that stat stuff and end up with lovely with arrogant as a safe backup. That's what the order here is the order of all of these personalities I've talked about so far. Fearful would actually fall below pure. These bolded ones depend on the generation of the dragon. Noble and neat are Gen 5 exclusive, and of course they must be pure. And then classy and pure, again, must be pure. And those are Gen 3 exclusive. The personalities with brackets around them are view-based personalities, which means your dragon cannot qualify for all four of them, but only one of them unless you're doing lovely and arrogant, because lovely and arrogant can overlap. The images displayed are, on the left, silent and lovely, and then on the right, they're actually lousy on the top and wild on the bottom, because I forgot to ask for an image of arrogant. So instead you get this. So here are some tips for getting these personalities. The view-based personalities, you'll want either a mist dragon or a rupia. For lousy and silent, you'll probably want a mist dragon. It's not required by any means, but it's certainly helpful. The mist dragon will prevent the number of views from going up, so if you use it immediately on a dragon you want silent on, you can do whatever you want with them, put them in the incubator, make them your partner, it doesn't matter, your views won't go up, and so you will always qualify for silent. For lousy, once you reach that 95, 96, 97, 98, 99 views, if you misdragon it then, you will not accidentally go over that 100. As for lovely and arrogant, rupia is always a big help because it will give you 100 views for free. Just 100 views. Only once, it doesn't stack, but it will just give you 100 views. Another recommended personality is lunatic, which will require you to have a Hydreigon and use Hydreigon's ability while the dragon is in the egg stage. To get a Hydreigon, you will need to breed a Hell Dragon with a Fearful Dragon, and the odds are very, very low, because even with the best odds, if you do not Centipede, you will still only have a 15% chance of getting Hydreigon. Additionally recommended are some item-based personalities. These are items you can get from events and such. Horrendous is no longer available, but it was available during the Halloween event, so people may still have them around. That's what it looks like on Lunera, on the Eclipse Lunera. The full moon and blue moon personalities are still available. They're available in the mileage shop for 400 mileage points each. So with that said, happy Lunera hunting. Remember, it's on the 26th, and that may not necessarily align with your time zone. It certainly does not align with mine. So do keep in mind, the in-game November 26th, 2023 is the next eclipse. And my recommendation is to try and get some breeding pairs before then so you can get a Gen 3 or a Gen 5 pure and get those cool, classy, noble personalities in neat and pure. And with that, see y'all next time.